British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Hello, my name is Lisa Kovtun. This is your news update to 1 p.m. A man who killed a Ukrainian girl in Montreal pleads guilty at the courthouse. Maria Legenkovska was a 7-year-old Ukrainian girl who moved with her family to Montreal after Russian invasion. She was walking to school with her brother and sister on 13th of December in 2022 when the car hit her. The driver disappeared from the scene but turned himself in to police later that day. Father of the girl was fighting for Ukraine's territorial defense forces when Maria was killed. He came to Montreal from the front line to bury his daughter. Another death because of a car hit in Mexico. A pregnant BC woman passed away. Christopher Coverola was 30 years old and also 5 months pregnant. Last Sunday, the car hit her on the crosswalk. The condition was critical since that time. She needed the blood transfusion to help stabilize her for an air transfer to Miami. The woman lost her son on Tuesday and died Thursday morning. She went to Mexico with her husband to celebrate second wedding anniversary. Her mother-in-law says Coverola was an important part of their family. Moving to local challenges now. According to the Hope for Freedom annual report, at least 4,821 people are experiencing housing problems and addiction in Metro Vancouver. At least 160 people for the 3 cities, which is an 86% increase since the pandemic. Reporter Grace Chan has details on what one outreach group is doing to combat this uptick.
Homelessness and addiction challenges continue to be on the rise in the Tri-Cities. One of the pressing hardships is the lack of access to information for where those struggling can go to get help. Uplifting Group, an organization in Port Coquitlam that creates funds and distributes care packages to homeless shelters, organizations, and addiction clinics, has helped people break barriers for access. This project has been going on for the past 6 months. McCarthy Weisel, the founder, has been working hard year-round to serve disadvantaged folks. Grace Chen, BCIT's The Crow.
Another consequence of the pandemic in lives of BC citizens. According to Stats Canada, roughly 20% of Canadians are working full-time from home as of November 2023. Our reporter Keenan Chigaskis found out how these people are finding a communal aspect offered well at work.
Stats Canada shows that work-from-home numbers are down 20% from 2020. For those who are working from home, there are places across the Lower Mainland that offer a communal space. Once a month, a free co-worker drop-in is held at the Beta Collective offices in Burnaby. They provide quiet office space, a lounge, and a conference room for people to get all their work done. Those who are tired of the distractions at home or the noisy coffee shop are welcome to work at the office. Their doors are open on the second Thursday of every month. Keenan Trigaskis, BCIT's The Crow.
Holidays coming. Mother's Day is this weekend, leaving many people scrambling for gifts and favors for their moms in their life. As Isabella Calisi explains, not every mom gets a chance to take in the holiday.
Toya Sue has been a floral designer for the last 25 years. That's 25 years that she hasn't had a relaxing Mother's Day. Sue says that the week leading up to it is the busiest time of year for her family's floral shop. Weeks in advance, they order bows, wrapping, and baskets for their floral designs, and the week of, they're putting together bouquets and other arrangements with freshly cut flowers. For an experienced floral designer like Sue, an arrangement takes anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes to put together. However, the amount of business that the shop gets requires a couple more hands on deck. Along with the regular staff, Sue calls upon her family to help put things together. She says that she doesn't expect flowers or really any presents from her children, but that their company and aid to the family business is all the Mother's Day gift she needs. Isabella Calisi, BCIT's The Crow.
That was your news update to 1 p.m. I'm Lisa Kovtun, BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
This is sports on 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon, I'm Spencer Pomeroy, and this is your 110 Sports Update. The Vancouver Canucks overcame a 3-goal deficit to edge the Edmonton Oilers 5-4 in Game 1 of their second-round playoff series last night. Head coach Rick Tocchet says the Canucks are a resilient group.
Sometimes we're not pretty, sometimes things happen, but I just feel like it's a real close group, and this is when you need a close group, in these situations. I thought everybody did something tonight to contribute. I don't think we had any passengers tonight.
Artur Shilovs improved to 3-1 in the playoffs, but allowed 4 goals on 18 shots. NHL.com's Kevin Woodley says Shilovs is still adjusting to the Oilers' game.
The way they move the puck around, that's going to do it to you, right? Like, Artur's never seen anything like this, and so the pace, the seam passes, the way they're able to open up a defense, that also puts a lot of pressure on a goaltender. The way they work pucks down low and then cross-crease passes like the Hyman goal to open the scoring on the power play, that's a different animal.
Game 2 is tomorrow in Vancouver. In other NHL news, the Toronto Maple Leafs have fired head coach Sheldon Keefe after 5 seasons with the club. Keefe led the Leafs to 5 playoff appearances, but only managed to get past the first round once. In a video post on X, Keefe says he's taking full responsibility for the team's playoff struggles.
I didn't get it done in the playoffs. I didn't help push our team over the line and deliver. I accept responsibility for that. No excuses. That's the job. I didn't get it done.
The Leafs bench boss becomes the 11th NHL coach to be fired this season. In NHL playoff action tonight, the New York Rangers will take their 2-0 series lead to Carolina to face the Hurricanes. Vincent Trocheck's power play goal in double overtime gave the Rangers the win in Game 2. Puck drop for Game 3 is 4 o'clock. Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars series resumes today for Game 2. The Stars had a 3-0 lead in Game 1 before the Avalanche stormed back to force overtime. Miles Wood converted on the breakaway in overtime to complete the comeback. Puck drop is 6:30 at the American Airlines Center. In basketball news, Caitlin Clark will make her WNBA home debut tonight with the Indiana Fever. Jennifer King with the Associated Press has more.
It's a preseason game, but there's still plenty of excitement for tonight's Indianapolis debut of WNBA rookie Caitlin Clark, the Iowa star who dazzled fans with effortless three-pointers on the way to the Women's College Basketball Championship. That game had viewership numbers that rivaled the NFL and has people talking about women's basketball in a new light. In the preseason opener Friday night at Dallas, Clark scored a team-high 21 points in a 79-76 loss. She spent Wednesday practicing inside an empty field house and will be welcomed by a near-sellout crowd that believes the number 1 draft pick can change the Indiana Fever's fortunes. Clark says she's expecting it to be loud.
It's my first time out here. Played in this arena before, but it'll obviously be a little bit different, wearing a Fever uniform.
They'll play the Atlanta Dream. The Fever will have 36 of their 40 games televised nationally. Clark's regular season debut, May 14th, against the Connecticut Suns, will be streamed live on Disney+. I'm Jennifer King.
In the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers will face the Boston Celtics in Game 2 of the East semifinals. Boston took Game 1 at home Tuesday night. Tip-off for Game 2 is 4 o'clock. In Canadian content, MVP runner-up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will lead the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight against the Dallas Mavericks in Game 2 of their series. Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 29 points in Game 1 and will look to take a commanding 2-0 series lead at home before the series shifts to Dallas. Tip-off is 6:30 in OKC. In other hockey news, the WHL prospect draft is today. The 22 WHL teams will have an opportunity to select players from Canada and the United States. As our reporter Jacob Fraser explains, the draft is how teams build for the future.
The WHL draft is underway. Bantam hockey players from Western Canada and the Western United States will have the chance to hear their names called. Top prospect Landon DuPont from Edge School in Calgary was selected first overall in this year's draft by the Everett Silvertips. DuPont is the second player in WHL history to receive exceptional status, which allows him to play in the WHL at 15 years old. Of the 22 players taken in the first round of this year's draft, 2 are BC natives. Second overall pick, Brock Cripps from Victoria, and 8th overall pick, Jacob Schwartz from Vancouver. The draft, which consists of 15 rounds, gives up to 331 players the opportunity to hear their names called. Jacob Fraser, BCIT's The Crow.
That has been your 110 Sports Update. I'm Spencer Pomeroy. You're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow. This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
For over 400 days, Angie and Curtis have been fighting to get answers to what happened to their son, Jay Preston Raphael. Ryan Sheridan reports on how the Saikaz Nation and the Raphaels are demanding for more to be done when it comes to missing Indigenous men and women from their nation and across Canada.
He's a father, he's a son.
He's got 2 sons.
He matters. He's a dad.
He's the best dad. He worked so hard.
He has children. That's what matters. He has children that miss their daddies.
He's
He's a dad.
got
He's
sons.
a First Nations male.
884 kilometers away, just outside of Vanderhoof, is Saikaz Nation. As we drive down an unlit gravel road where a very small Indigenous community is mourning the loss of numerous missing and murdered members. Jay Raphael has been missing since February 25th, 2023, leaving behind a family desperate for answers.
Come on. Do I go see Grandma? We're gonna put your boots by the door with all the other shoes. Nobody likes picking her outside. Say, Grandma, I'm here. Okay. We'll go Grandma's house. Can I go up the stairs?
Welcome to my home. Making some coffee here.
Over 15 family members traveled to Curtis and Angie Raphael's home on Saikaz Nation to tell Jay's story.
We're just sitting here in the living room at Jay's mother's house. We're surrounded by our family, Jay's nieces, his sister, his parents, our grandma. We have his kids sitting here with us. You say, I'm Mark.
I'm Mark. I'm Jason.
You gotta say it louder, baby.
I'm Jason.
He was a happy boy. I loved raising him up. Very kind, helpful to elders. Takes care of me and my wife. He was sort of outgoing person once in a while, but he was home most of the time, eh?
He went to be with his cousin. And then what happened after that, I can't say because it's under investigation still. I've never seen my son again. He said he's coming home and he never came back. It's like he vanished off the face of the earth.
I usually pick him up when he calls. I told him to call home. I don't care what time it is, 3, 4 o'clock, and I'll go get you. But that time he didn't phone home. He said, but I'm coming home. He said, I'll walk or I'll find somebody to bring me home. And that's where we left it at. There's no lights whatsoever along this road. It's all back road. I don't know why there's no lights. And I told him, my boy, I love you, call me. He said, yeah, that was the last thing I told my son.
Mother's Days, Father's Days, his son's birthday. Nobody's heard from him. His SIN number hasn't been touched. The phone has not been activated since the day he went missing. And the RCMP said that they pinged it and they can't tell us the last location. I believe he's alive until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I'm hoping. It's all you can do is hope, right? Till you find either a body or he comes out, you know. I see lots of missing guys on my wife's missing person page, you know, and they're not taken really serious. He's my boy, but I think about him every day. And, you know, I hope he comes home, or if they find him, at least, you know, we need closure, you know. Other people that have death, they have closure because they get to bury their dead.
How are you, Grandpa?
Somebody knows something, come forward. He's a father, he's a son, he's a nephew. He's got 2 beautiful boys. Somebody should say something. Anything. How can people sleep at night knowing that there's somebody missing and they're not doing nothing about it? Speak up and please say something, because this whole family, they need him back. This community needs him back. His kids need him back.
Last time I seen my nephew was Friday. He just looked back, he skipped and looked at me and said, "I love you, Auntie. I love you too, my nephew. I'll see you later." I always look out the window, watch for him.
We're just gonna go outside and have a chat. You wanna come with Mom? Down the stairs, watch your step. Jay and I met 2014, and we were together for 8 years. It took us 3 years to have a baby. And Jay was so happy. I met him when he was 19 years old. And he's always wanted to be a dad. And when he found out we were pregnant, I was so scared. I didn't know if I was ready to be a mom yet. And we had our family, and it was perfect. Everything was so good. And he was the best dad. He worked so hard. Our son, Mark, he's such a daddy's boy. He'd sit by the window and wait for his dad to come home. And Daddy would walk through the door, and in his little voice, "Daddy!" I see his cars in the yard that he loved so much. He was a little race car driver, that guy. It's funny, I could still see his mess in here. And that's how you know it's Jay's too. I don't know what's in here. Yeah, it's been a while since anyone's sat in here. And he always said he wouldn't sell it. Even when it broke down, he wouldn't sell it. He said, "I'm going to give this to my son one day. This will be my son's car," because I love this car so much. His little Pontiac Pursuit. I'm like, "But you think your son's going to want this little Bumblebee in 20 years? And he's like, "Yep, if he's my son, he's going to want that Bumblebee." And there's his Cherokee. He's so proud of that. And like, to me, all these cars are butt ugly, but to him, these are showcases. Well, Jay and I were together for so long that his family's my family, and my family's his family. I call his mom and dad, and because they watched us grow up, Jay and I were just kids. I'm scared about these events that are coming up for Father's Day, when all the kids are making their Father's Day gifts. How's my son gonna feel? I just have a mom now. Like, just randomly out of nowhere, he's like, "Mom, I just have a mom now." And I just wish he was here to experience this with me. To watch our kids grow up together like we were supposed to.
Tell Mommy I still love her no matter what, okay? Have a good night, you two.
Say his name. Jay Preston Rayfield.
Bring Jay home!
With Sia Forio, I'm Ryan Sheridan for BCIT's The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Siggy-Kane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.